Okay, so this should be an NXT review, right? But there's no NXT tonight. There's a recap of 2015, and I'm pretty sure you guys would be super excited to hear me recap a recap of 2015. So, as you guys know, I watch SmackDown. Although SmackDown I will be reviewing on its proper night of Thursday, going forward. You guys know in Canada we actually get SmackDown here on a Wednesday. So what I've done is I've foregone the NXT review because there isn't an NXT 2 review. I'm going to give you the SmackDown review tonight, but going forward it will be, you know, Raw on Monday, NXT on Wednesday, SmackDown on Thursday, as much as I possibly can, unless we run into another scenario like this. Quickly, I just want to shout out, ridiculous response to my first Raw review of the year. Thank you for that. A lot more activity on Twitter in the past week. Thank you very much for that. Two questions for you guys before I get into the SmackDown review are as follows. Did anybody watch the debut of Impact on Pop TV? A, I don't get Pop TV in Canada. B, I was kind of giving up on TNA anyways. C, I really want to know if they changed anything around. I know who the new champion is. It just makes me roll my eyes, but whatever. Anybody that did see the show, let me know if it's any good. Let me know if it's worth watching at all. I think I know the answer, but whatever. Those of you who are fans of TNA, though, go follow my buddy OKFabe at OKFabe or youtube.com/OKFaber. I think I can't think of the name of the website, which is terrible, but he is the official, like, TNA guy, like TNA reviewer guy for some new website. So that's his new endeavor, so he's got to sit through TNA whether it's good or not. That's fantastic. But on the last note that I will bring up for NXT, I have to address the rumors that we've got a bunch of people coming over from New Japan to the NXT roster. Now, we lost James Storm, which I'm hearing through the grapevine and mostly through listening to the Taz podcast. We lost James Storm back to TNA. The four names that are being rumored as coming over to here are Luke Gallows, who I guess would be a return, somebody Armstrong, Nakamura, Shinsuke Nakamura, I think is the name. If I'm mispronouncing that, which I'm almost sure I am, then that's cool. And obviously the big one is the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, you guys know I've said in the past, you know, whenever the question has been asked, you know, what people should come from TNA to over to NXT, over to WWE in general, AJ Styles has always been on top of my list, so that's cool. Doc Gallows, I'm as neutral as I can possibly be on. I mean, he served his purpose in the Aces and Eights, he served his purpose in the Straight Edge Society, but as a solo guy, as Festus, do you remember Festus? That was a thing. The other two, though, Shinsuke Nakamura and can't even think of the other guy's name, which really makes me sound like a shithead. Those two I have not seen a scrap of anything of, so any of you that have any thoughts down in the box below, what I should know about them, or better yet, where I can find some quick, you know, best of stuff or whatever, to see if I should even form an opinion on those two, that would be great. That would be very, very helpful towards me, and obviously going forward if they do end up coming to NXT. AJ Styles, I'm all on board with AJ Styles coming over to NXT, and I'm all on board with AJ Styles versus Finn Balor at some point. So without any further ado, and with all of that being said, let me give you the hopefully the only Wednesday night SmackDown review. I'll be back in a second. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, who is going to move his clipboard out of the way so that you can see my pretty sexy face. Here with your review of SmackDown for technically tomorrow, which will be January 7th, even though I'm recording this on the 6th. Yay, watching SmackDown in Canada. Debut of SmackDown on the USA Network down in the States, which really has no meaning to me whatsoever, because up here, as I say, not only is it on Wednesdays, it's on Sportsnet 360, which used to be called The Score, and it hasn't been on any other channel for us in a dog's age. But I do know, in the States, when they move it to a different channel, they try to spice it up, and at least the debut show is pretty damn good. I fully expected maybe we were going to get a different logo, maybe we were going to get a different intro. They've switched up some of the graphics in the intro, they've switched up some of the video clips in the intro, but the music is still the same. I don't like the SmackDown entrance music that they've got right now. I don't... It's very neutral and bland, and I mean, Raw is the same. But Raw, half the time the entrance music doesn't even play, so it doesn't bug me as much. The thing that I was excited about, and call me a nerd if you want to, was the introduction of MAURO Ranallo to the announce desk of SmackDown. Jerry the King Lawler did the introductions. At one point in the night, he said, I used to work with a guy named JR, how about I call you MR? And then he turned to Byron Saxton and said, that would make you BS. It's a bad Jerry Lawler joke, but it did pop me, I'm not going to lie. MAURO Ranallo, I will say right now, right off the bat, was great tonight, and if this is an indication of how he's going to be going forward, he is, from what I've seen tonight, he's the exact opposite of what we've all been complaining of. You know, people talking about the stories too much, bickering amongst themselves too much, whatever, and not actually calling the moves, not actually calling the match. Now, will they sort of wean him onto the sort of the WWE style of announcing? I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope they let him be something unique in the company, and for all intents and purposes, SmackDown needs something to make it stand out. So if you've got better commentary and actual wrestling commentary on SmackDown, it might be one of those things that tilts the hat and makes a couple more people watch the show. This is a guy who is on podcasts talking about wrestling, made a huge name for himself as an announcer in MMA, the legitimate sport of mixed martial arts and such and such. So why would you not let him hold on to that legitimacy and keep calling wrestling like a wrestling commentator? But I'm not going to predict bad things down the line. He was really good tonight. I was really impressed, and it's really cool to have him there. Like I say, Mini Michael Cole, a.k.a. Rich Brennan, can go back to NXT. Cena comes out to start the show. Of course he does. He talks about how it's the debut on USA, and there's USA chants because John Cena's G.I. Joe. We know this. Talks about the other title matches that are going to be on the show tonight, which is kind of cool. The hood ornament of the company putting over the other matches that are going to be happening tonight was a nice little touch. Talking about how we're going to see the Divas match tonight. We're going to see the IC match tonight. We should have a United States Championship match. But he calls out Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio, wherever they were in Texas, it's San something, obviously. Del Rio got a lot of chance tonight. He got a lot of crowd support and whatnot. Turns down the challenge, saying Cena doesn't deserve it. You had your shot. You talked yourself into a title match once. It's not going to happen again. Cena panders a lot. I just have to say. Alberto Del Rio tells off Cena, half in Spanish, which is great. He's really driving the point home. He says, I will fight anybody. I'm a fighting champion. I will fight anybody tonight, but it won't be for the title. It won't be against you. So Cena, really trying to get the fans' vote here, pulls out Sin Cara's injured, Kalisto, and dances to Kalisto's entrance music, which is great. Sorry guys, I'm looking up at that and it looks like it might die. It looks like it might die, and if it does, there's going to be a jump cut. So if there's a jump cut, I'm sorry in advance. Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio is the first match. The match starts with a bitch slapping a head scissor by Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio bailing to the outside. Both men exchange kicks in the corner. It's cool. Kalisto's known for his kicks. Alberto Del Rio, you know, responds in kind. Mudhole by Alberto Del Rio. Tilt-a-whirl roundhouse by Kalisto is really nice. Head scissor DDT by Kalisto, and Alberto bails once again as we go to commercial break. Side slam by Alberto Del Rio as we come back, and a running boot on the outside. Clothesline and stomps to the back by Alberto Del Rio. He's kind of got him hung up outside the ring like he would in the Trio Woe when he does that final stomp, but he does it to the back. It's really nasty looking. I don't really want to think about anybody stepping on my spine, if I'm perfectly honest with you guys. Alberto Del Rio beats down Kalisto once he gets him in the proper Trio Woe. Alberto Del Rio eats post shoulder first to put a stop to that. Top rope seated senton by Kalisto and a springboard corkscrew crossbody also by Kalisto. Kalisto goes for a head scissor and is countered into a Batista bomb by Alberto Del Rio. Multiple corner clotheslines by Alberto Del Rio and a spike DDT that's pretty because Kalisto sells the fuck out of it. Alberto Del Rio tosses Kalisto into the rail, hits a cross armbreaker. Cross armbreaker is countered by Kalisto into a Hurricane Rana pinfall, and Kalisto gets the win. I could say a lot of things. I could say John Cena being cheerleader on the outside, trying to put himself over by supporting Kalisto was really annoying. I could say the fact that takes a little bit of the shine off Kalisto's victory, that John Cena was out there providing a distraction to Alberto Del Rio. But I will say, Kalisto, it looks like he's in the midst of a slight push here, which is cool for two reasons. A, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Obviously, they're turning him into Rey Mysterio 2.0, which is great, except not. And B, he really needs something to do with his partner being out injured, Sin Cara, with the shoulder injury from a few weeks ago. So it's all good. What's not so good is me shaking my head once again and saying, oh dear God, my boy The Miz, what are they doing with you? Miz comes out for Miz TV. Supposed to be a Miz TV special about the Royal Rumble. He comes in, he starts introducing the show, he's interrupted by the New Day, who come out and cut a promo in response to Chris Jericho and what he did on Raw. They call him old, they make fun of his jacket, they say 2016 is going to be the year of the unicorn, which is great. Miz tries to get them out of the way. Ziggler comes out, and I'm sorry to say, just takes some really generic cheap shots at the Miz. Goldust comes out and is creepy Goldust to the Miz. Neville comes out and says, I will give you anything I have if you cancel your show, which is great. And R-Truth, whose gimmick now is just that he's an idiot, let's be real, comes out to answer Alberto Del Rio's non-existent United States Championship Open Challenge. He gets into a battle of words with The Miz. The Miz says, I'll give you $1, you can go buy a clue. They brawl a little bit. Everybody brawls a little bit. The heels bail as we go to commercial break. We come back. There is a 4-on-4 tag team match. It's Miz and the New Day, even though the New Day interrupted Miz's show because wrestling, versus Ziggler, Goldust, Neville, and R-Truth. I didn't write down anything for this match because really it's a pile of people. Everybody gets a chance to shine a little bit, which means nobody shines above anybody else, which means it doesn't really do anything for anybody. Loud Rudy Tooty Booty chants at the New Day because of Jericho, because of reasons, and thank you Jericho for that. Miz is awesome chants lasted about twice. Miz is awesome. Miz is awesome. Everybody, from the man to the woman to the girl to the boy to the child to the baby to the guy selling popcorn in the back, they chanted it twice and it never came back. But it made me smile anyway. The match was too long. The match went 2 segments. The match was a clusterfuck. The match made me want a Ziggler versus Miz feud that I'm not going to get, and a super kick from Ziggler to the Miz got the win for the babyface team. I know that this is supposed to build towards the Royal Rumble, especially because after the match, Ziggler threw his own teammates out of the ring. Again, for reasons, but this match didn't do anything for anybody, really. What did do something for me, and yes, take that how you will, is Charlotte versus Becky Lynch for the Divas Championship. Obviously, Ric Flair is in Charlotte's corner. Obviously, there was some shit talking from both girls backstage before this match. Mauro Ranallo, especially in this match, really coming into form with the proper match calling and stuff. It's great. Hard collar and elbow type, start a shoving match. Arm drag, armbar by Charlotte, counter armbar by Becky Lynch. And I love the fact that every time there is a match, I mean, Charlotte does it too, but especially Becky Lynch, the psychology, and I know I harp on it, the psychology, focusing on an arm, focusing on a leg, focusing on the small of the back, focusing on the neck, it's always right there. Great pinning reversal sequence is paused by a leg bar submission by Charlotte. We go back to the pinning sequence once again, which is stopped by a hammerlock by Becky. Standing key lock by Becky, everything working the arm. Really fucking great. Drop kick, arm drag, arm bar by Becky. Becky suplex. No, Becky springboard kicks Charlotte to the floor. Charlotte is on the apron. She does that little jump she does off the bottom rope and kicks her to the floor. Boot by Charlotte on the outside. Mounted punches by Charlotte once they get back into the ring. 2 overhead cradle suplexes by Charlotte are really cool. Becky's known for her suplexes. Charlotte, as I've said multiple times, comes out with the attitude of anything you can do, I can do better. Pops off 2 really good suplexes as we go to commercial break. Figure 4 headlock by Charlotte, and she's doing some things. There's two things that I like and one thing that I don't. Where she does the figure 4 headlock, it's good because it's kind of the same spot in the match as a sleeper, but it's a little different. Again, it's specific to her, it's specific to her dad. It's great. The thing that she does where she rolls through and drags the person by their head into a couple of slams is cool. When she rolls over and uses that same hold to basically crotch thrust her opponent's face into the mat, it's a bit demeaning, and I don't mean in a Healy way, I mean in the same way that the rear view is demeaning to Naomi. I don't even like Naomi, and I wish she had a better finisher. It's the same thing here. Two elements of it that I like, one of it that I don't. It's still great. It's still working the neck, but it's just like that upside down, weird looking thrust thing that she does. I know other people have done it too. I'm fully aware, but I don't like it. It could be better. But finally, when Becky's able to get her wits about her, it's just to stand up with Charlotte on her shoulders, and instead of doing an electric chair drop, she falls forward. Electric chair, snake eyes on the top turnbuckle. Looks great. Both ladies trade uppercuts, a leg lariat and an exploder suplex by Becky, a neck breaker off the second rope by Charlotte, chops by Charlotte, and another exploder suplex by Becky, and fuck, they're pretty. Spear by Charlotte. Becky tries the disarmer, which Charlotte tries to turn into a one-arm powerbomb, which gets countered into the disarmer once again by Becky Lynch. Ric Flair on the outside, dirtiest player in the game, rah-de-rah-de-rah, puts Charlotte's foot on the rope. Charlotte rolls up Becky with the same feet on the same rope and gets the win. You guys know my ability to take Charlotte's lack of character is lacking at the best of times. The shit with her dad is getting repetitive, and the more they fuck with Becky, and it's not the same as, okay, the heel's fucking with the babyface, so I feel bad for the babyface. No, the people behind it, like whoever this, I don't know Becky Lynch's real name. I'm sorry, I just don't. But the more WWE fucks her over to put over this, baby Flair thing that they've got going on with Charlotte, the more I legitimately don't want to see Charlotte on my screen, like X-Pac heat style, and the more I just want to say fuck it and give Becky the belt. And I don't want that. I want Becky to win it because I'm a fan of hers and I want her to win a good match. I don't want her to win it because I'm sick of her opponent and don't want to see her, and don't make me not want to see Ric Flair. Like that's another thing. But again, nothing against Charlotte. She's amazing in the ring. I've always said that. The fact that they've sucked any little bit of character they had out of her to make her a miniature version of her dad is starting to frustrate me a lot. Doesn't change the fact that this was a fantastic match. Doesn't change the fact this was an amazing outing by Becky Lynch. Paige said it in a promo a little while ago. Becky was the afterthought. She was the least relevant of anybody in the Divas Revolution. I can really see in matches like these that she's having, and when she's getting the time to do it properly, she's really doing everything she can to shake off that image. Great match, long match, big long 2-segment match between two great workers, but the character thing and the Flair shit just needs to stop. Ambrose versus Owens is your main event for the Intercontinental Championship. 3-segment match, this one, but I don't have a whole lot of notes, so we'll see how it goes. Collar and double tie and a shoving match to start. Headlock, snapmare, and another headlock by Ambrose. Early attempt at the dirty deeds is failed by Ambrose, and Owens bails to the floor as we go to the first commercial break. Nice little flurry, go to the break immediately, come back, and we will have slowed the match back down. It's a funny thing to say. I like the way WWE sticks in their commercial breaks. Is that a weird thing to say? Maybe, maybe not. Corner chops, not a corner clothesline. Corner chops by Owens and a mud hole stomp by Ambrose. Clothesline and a headlock by Ambrose, a straight jacket choke, and a kick to the back of the head by Ambrose is good. You think he's going to have him in the full straight jacket choke. He lets one arm go so that he can rear back and kick him in the back of the head. You're being choked in the front. You're being held in place in the front. You're getting kicked in the back of the head. Not a good day to be Kevin Owens. Baseball slide lariat by Ambrose, which is nice, which is what Mauro Ranallo called it. I should have thought of calling it that a long time ago, but whatever. I'll give the credit to him for that one. Owens tosses Ambrose out of the ring. Both men brawl on the outside, eating guardrail as they go. Side Russian leg sweep into the rail by Ambrose is a nice move. Clothesline off the apron by Ambrose is equally nice. Orton-style draping DDT by Owens as they get back in the ring it's art. It really is. I would go as far as to say that Owens does it better than Orton, and all the Orton haters in my audience are probably reveling at that thought, but no, it does not mean I'm suddenly not a fan of Randy Orton. Owens rides a headlock as we come back from the second commercial break. Both men trade punches and chops. Corner clothesline and a big bulldog by Ambrose. Release German suplex by Owens is great for a big guy. Top rope tornado spike DDT by Ambrose, and it lives up to its name. It really does. Owens crotches Ambrose on the top and hits him with the bowling ball. Finally, there's been several attempts at the bowling ball before this. There was a bowling ball into the guardrail during one of the commercial breaks that I forgot to mention that also looked really good. We have a sequence here where there's a Hurricane Rana by Ambrose, which is countered into a super kick by Owens, which is countered into a rebound clothesline by Ambrose. Both men trade punches and blows. Clothesline by Owens. Suicide dive by Ambrose over the announce table. Both men brawl. And this is where the match ends. because the match ends in a double countout, and I'm okay with that. I really, really am. The brawl continues. They go up through the crowd. They go up along the stageway. There is a spot where Owens is off the stage. Words. Ambrose does a sort of an awkward looking running dive off of the stage, and it's cool. I like that it looks awkward. I like that it's not super pretty coming off the stage, because it shows how out of their element they are. If you come off perfectly pretty off the top rope, it's because you're in the ring, you're in your element. If something looks awkward or a little botchy coming off the stage, I like that, because it shows that it gives it a little bit of a less choreographed feeling. It shows that these guys are in an area where they don't usually fight. Now, the last segment is these guys up in the crowd where the techs are. There's all the electrical case boxes. They're grappling. They're jockeying for position on top of the thing. You think you're going to get a power bomb on the cases? No, that doesn't happen. You think you're going to get a dirty deeds on the cases, and that doesn't happen either. What happens is WWE does go a little bit of the safe route. They knock each other off through a couple of tables that are beside the cases, and they go on to close the show. And Mauro Ranallo's last words as they go off air is, "The hottest feud in WWE continues." And he just shouts it out like he's got more to say, but they just cut it off like that, and it's good. I got to go back to the commentary for a second. Every time on Raw, specifically, where you got Michael Cole, who's been there forever, and you know, everything sounds like a sales pitch at the end. Either switch to the WWE Network and check out Breaking Ground, or Total Divas, or Austin's podcast, or oh my god, this was so cool tonight. What are they gonna do Sunday? I like that it was just like, holy fuck, what did we just watch? End of the show. Don't think about tomorrow. Think about what you just saw. Little thing with the commentary, but I liked it. It was really good. If this is a sign, and I know all the changes that I've spoken about are little. We got 2 title matches tonight. We got John Cena on SmackDown. Whether you like John Cena or not, John Cena being on SmackDown is kind of cool. Mauro Ranallo behind the desk is fucking great. If this is how SmackDown is going to be in 2016, I am on board, personally. I mean, I TiVo it, which means I get to fast forward through the commercials. I watch the entire show in an hour and a half. So that's cool. I don't really like even the 4-on-4 match that didn't really do anything for me, didn't hurt my feelings either, if that makes sense. I like everybody that was in the match. You go along the way. Miz is underrated. The New Day are the New Day. R-Truth is underrated. Ziggler's awesome. Neville's fast. Goldust is weird. You know what you're getting into with that match, so it didn't hurt my feelings. Nothing bad in it happened. I just didn't see the particular point, other than Ziggler going a little bit heel at the end and turning on his teammates, and the fact that I want to see a Ziggler-Miz feud that I'm not going to get. Yeah, overall, great SmackDown. When you guys watch SmackDown tomorrow night and then come back and watch this video, please be sure to tell me down in the box below what you thought of it. Let me know about those potential new NXT guys that I asked about in the opening segment of this video. And yeah, anybody that watched TNA other than OK Fabe, Connor, I know you did because it's kind of your job now. Let me know how the show was. Let me know if I should check it out or not. Till next time, I have been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger, and my camera didn't die. Tagging out. Bye.
You're a freak like me.